Patron, take them away.
Warm welcome, one and all. We're going to have a look at cable today. I'm going to pound USD. And by the looks of it, I'm going to sell it. Now, it is kind of top of its range in one thing and another, so I might do a quick scalp the other way, but I very much doubt it, because one of the things that I strongly suggest is you have a single direction and you stick with it. And if you're wrong, at least you've got an opportunity to get out. If you try doing hedging, going on minute charts, God knows what, you'll get yourself into a world of pain and you'll find you're just spinning wheels and getting nowhere. There's a lot of showboating around on YouTube all the time. And quite frankly, most of it is just absolute horseshit. Absolute bollocks. A lot of people think what I do is bollocks, but the difference is you see me do it every single day. You see me do it in the moment. I was a guest speaker at one of the biggest Forex conferences going. Why? Because I trade for companies individually as well as my own, and they know what I do. I've been in this industry 19 years now, and I came into it by accident. I didn't come into it the same way you did. It was my job. And then when my factory closed, it became my full-time part of my job. So here we are. And everything you see is a lot different to what you see elsewhere. Why? Because I was taught properly. I'm not recycling a load of bollocks, because that's all most of YouTube is. Oh, that one looks good, so I'll just say what that one does. Oh, that one's good, I'll say what they do. No, you know, I'm quite individual. When you see people talking that's very similar to me, it's because I am the original, the only one. Everyone else is a pale imitation.
There can be only one.
Anyway, let's have a little look, shall we? I start with this every day, okay? And what this does for me, it tells me the strongest and weakest of the day. And you won't find the way the strongest and weakest is on any website. There are websites you can use, but I do this myself. Okay, I work it out myself. I also work out the change of strength myself, the whole lot. Okay, it's something that I do. It's got a huge engine behind it. So at the moment I've got pound as the strongest. It's actually gained 4 points from yesterday. JP's fell off the floor, and I've been into that already. If I pull up a chart, one that I did earlier, almost like Blue Peter there, boys and girls. Here's a chart I did earlier. There you go. I've already had 88 quid out of that trade, but I'm now done with it. Why am I done with it? Because it's top of its range and I think it's topped out. Now, if I pull this down, this is our Discord. Oh, that's a bit rude, isn't it? Let's have a look, see what that is. Oh, it's Moonraker, it's James Bond. I bet you were all excited there for a second. I know the squad is when I put things like that on. That's why we've got a rude place as well. See, because our Discord's a lot different than most others. It's not boring in here. We put all of our rags and riches in. But what I'm going to pull you to is the scruffy buyers. As you can see, this goes in all the time. It's updated throughout the day until I'm finished. Now, earlier on this morning, told the guys I was going to buy that pound JPY. What I was going to do with it, just showing you the results. And as it was updating, that's done. We're now moving over into this. Okay, this will probably be the last trade of the day for me, but it's actually telling me at the moment to sell it and monitor, and it's fair, but be reasonable with the TP. Why be reasonable with the TP? Because this is actually strong, but it is at the top of its range. And that's something that I'm paying attention to, because the strongest mover from change of strength is the US. So that'll push the pound down, creating the sell. But because the pound is strong, I'm going to be really careful with it. Okay. So that's that. And then the guys themselves, they chat in amongst themselves all the time. As you can see, they're having a good old chat at the moment. And they can go in the bar. And tonight we'll be on a Zoom call. And we talk in stops and targets tonight. And I think it's a good thing to talk about, because sometimes you're cutting your losers or you're cutting your winners too quick, but you're letting the losers run. And I touched on this in the video yesterday because it is on my mind. And one thing you got to remember with these videos, guys, is I edit nothing. I just switch camera on. What you see is what you get, and away we go. It's that simple. I try and keep it as real as I can. So we know we're going to sell this. How are we going to sell it, and why are we going to sell it? Well, let's dig into it and find out. Now, what we can do as well, because if I pull that sheet back up, it said buy the DAX at 9 o'clock, but it was risky. Let's have a quick look at the DAX a second before I start, because I've got a little bit of time. Sure enough, it was a buy, and that's why it's risky. See the tail on the top? It's telling you it's pushing at the top of its range, and it could easily bounce back down on itself. So you've got to be a bit careful. So again, the sheet was right to say, yeah, this is what it's doing, but be very careful with what you're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut all of this lot down, get rid of everything, so I can just concentrate on the one in hand, which is this. Now I'm going to step this back to see what's going on. This is the leg that we're trading against, this one here, and it's actually going against that as well. So it's a fib inside a fib. So I'm going to take these blue lines off because I don't need them anymore, because the old fib, which is this one, is now completed, and we're now looking at this roll over here. Now the chances are, with it being strong, so I'm going to pull that to there so we can see around this area. So it's going to come down into this trading range here. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Looking for it to get down into there and then down into here. Don't need to do a great deal. So there's the move here. It's the same move that we were looking at. I just zoom it in on the 4 hour just so I can see it. It is relatively sustained. So I'm going to pull that up onto there. It's currently sitting above the 23, so it looks like I'll have to trade into it. So in and around this zone would be an entry point. You could kind of get in all the way up to this point, I would suppose. But these are entry exits. And they're there as guides rather than definitives. When you see a solid sort of black, yellow or red fib, I would be paying very close attention to them, because they are definitives. Okay. In other words, they come from a very high time frame and they're rock solid, if you don't know what that means. So it's a definitive turning point is what it is. Now, the bit that I'm concerned about is this one here. Don't particularly like trading into them. So I need to see if there's any sort of space. So I'm going to pull this back out. See, that's coming in pretty darn solid now. Do you know something? I think, let's have a quick look. Yeah, we've just crossed a key point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an order into market. Now the question is where? It's come against this and then back up. So if I step this out slightly, just so that I can get a look at the bigger picture. And I just want to see how it reacted to this. Okay. So, yeah, okay. What we're going to do is we're going to drop an order in. Just like so. Just kind of underneath where it is. Sort of as a starting point. Okay. And then run that down. So we've got like 4 pips. So to get to the base of here is about 10 pips. So we're going to look, target to maybe is around here somewhere. Okay. So we into market. Quite pleased with what that is. Okay. So do that. I'm just replicating it on my other side, guys. Right, okay. Right, so that's replicated. Quite happy with that. So what we're going to do is I'll now quite happily stage from here to here to get down here somewhere. Okay, quite happily to do that. And we look for, I don't know, so if it's a 10 pip target, minimum, I stress minimum, look for about 50 quid, all right, as a baseline. Anything over that, more than happy. So we'll play it out. The camera will switch off at 10 o'clock because I do have a meeting, but you know the premise. We know we're getting in and around here somewhere. What we'll do is we'll set it there. So that's like 100 quid, all right? And we'll just see how we get on. Catch you in a bit. Okay guys, I'm back. Let's switch this over and finish the trade out. Okay guys, job's done. It's now going into the sell that I thought. I've got the money that I needed. It's in and around a key level. I can hold it if I want to. I genuinely can, but I'm not greedy. And that's one of the arts of trading as well. Just don't be greedy, but it's also stretching. So there's news announcements as well, which I didn't really want to be involved with. So we just kill it off, let it be happy with the money. So there's nothing there. All my orders are out. And there you go. So we're looking for 50 quid. We've got 124. How good is that? Now, I was doing it on the other side, and this is the other reason why I knocked it off. Because there we go. Told the guys I was doing pound JPY to buy it. And I said I was going to sell the pound. Well, I've sold it and it's done quite well. I've done enough to justify today. So why carry on with the trade? Now, earlier on, I said that I would be talking about less is more, over trading, 1 or 2 trades a day, etc. This is a very good example of that. I did my homework, did my analysis, knew exactly what I was looking for, and the guys in the squad, they know what I'm looking for as well. And I'm going to give a little salute to Julian Rhino, because that's who I was having a meeting with earlier on. He come to the same conclusion I did. So I was really proud of him today. You know, sometimes the meetings that we have are a little off the cuff, and I get really annoyed when it's just a case of just show me how to get in, because those people will never work. they'll not survive. But if you're looking at how do I read the big picture, how do I look at the chart, you know, where's a good way to kill a trade off, where's a good place to place a stop, these are the right questions, and these are what we talked about today. Now, cable being cable, it moves around, it can fake you out, spike you out. DAX is a nightmare for it, which is what we discussed. But the conclusions were the same. So what's the moral here, guys? I always try and give a little bit of value and a little bit of insight into these videos at the end. And the reason I put them at the end is very simple. If you're just a wannabe and you're looking for the quick fix, you'll be gone before you get here. Because I really don't want to deal with people like that. I've got no time for them, because you'll never teach them anything. They're the whingers and criers of this world. But the workers are the ones who will stick at it. They're the ones who slog through the video to the end. Those guys I will help. It's a little bit, I'll tell you a little story. You might think I'm a bit of a sod. Then again, you might think I have common sense. I, as you've just seen or heard, got no time for freeloaders or wannabes, all this sort of thing, you know. And I do watch the industry and I do listen to what's said. Now, terminology wise, it's mine. I wasn't taught the way you lot are. I'm predominantly self-taught, but I had a head start with a bank manager. So I talk in ways that make sense to me. So when I hear it in and around the industry, I know the copy in me, right? So, do you want to have a copy or the original? So that's the first thing, all right? So that's something to keep in mind. But when I was in industry, at its height, my business had 17 employees. But prior to that, I held good jobs with different companies, and I always had staff and one thing and another. And I often had to interview people. Now, my interview technique was very simple. I'll just talk to you, right? If I think you can see something in you, I'll employ you, because I can always teach you if you haven't got the skill set. But the one thing that I want is an ethic. I'd like to think I have it. I've got a strong sense of right and wrong. If it's wrong, I'm not interested. If it's right, I'll stand with it. There's nothing in the middle. People know that about me, okay? But the other side of it is, I like grafters as well. If you work, I'll work with you. And I'll work 24 hours a day for you. You know, nature of what I do. And the guys in the squad will tell you, I am there all the time. But my test is this. Whenever I had an interview, I always ended it in the kitchen. Always. You know, take them down, show them factory, or talk about their experiences. But I would make certain they had a drink. You know, whether they wanted it or not, I'd make certain they have one. Make them a cup of coffee, pour them some juice, something like that. But then I'd watch what they do with the cup. The person that picked the cup up or asked what they're going to do with the cup at the end of the meeting was automatically top of the list. You know, just something as simple as, oh, do you want me to put this in the sink? Or do you want me to put it somewhere? Or actually pick it up and place it to the sink? That person has an ethic, a clean ethic, because they're looking to do things for themselves. The freeloaders of this world would just get up and walk out. And I won't teach them that. I do a similar thing with the way I run Discord and one thing and another. Someone messages me and says, just give me the link. Or what's the link to this? All the links that I ever deal with are either in the description and comments, or if it's the Discord, they're placed in the YouTube community. If you can't be bothered to go look for the link, why should I be bothered to teach you? It's a simple process. It shows willingness. It shows you're willing to go the extra step in the markets or the extra step in your life. And these are the little lessons that I like to try and teach. And I know this will get downvoted. Every single video gets downvoted. Every single one of them. I get told I'm wrong virtually on most of my analyses. But funny enough, I always make money off it. And I do it in the moment. Bit funny that, isn't it? And the ones who tell me I'm wrong normally have zero track record because they've got zero experience of the market. They don't know what they're doing. And I'm talking to people that have been in it for 10 years. If you've been in a job for 10 years and you still don't know how to do it, you're no fucking good at this job. Give up. It's that simple. Trading's very simple, guys. Have an ethic so you know what you're looking for. Is it right or is it wrong? That's your ethic. Thin down the amount of markets that you trade. Don't look at hundreds of markets in a day. Scan through to see the best one, and that's your market for the day. And you concentrate on it till it is complete. Once it's complete, you may go look for another market. Case in point this morning. I was done and dusted with pound JPY before 9 o'clock. Now my day trades normally start in and around 8:30, 9 o'clock for the rest of the day, but my morning trades can be done by 9. So if I'm finished and I've still got an ability to get some money because I haven't quite hit my tipping point, because I like to do about 200 quid across the accounts a day, I may go back to market. But if I paid enough, why would I go back to market? Be foolish. And just as a final thing, I'm going to show you why I killed that out. Flick this back. It's stalling bang on said level. I don't know whether or not that's going to hold or not. And you can see it's starting to tip into the green, so it's going to pull back on itself. It was the right call to end the trade. So there you go, guys. Another little bit of a hoot with Scruff. Been doing the bathroom as well. As much as all of this paperwork, teaching, sorting the guys out. No wonder I burn out all the time, guys. I must be ready for another holiday. Must be. Although Winky says I can't have one till January, so I might have to sort something out in December. Well, I'll be off in December anyway, because the markets are shut. So, if you're stuck, I'm very easy found. As I said, I've just told you where you'll find my contact details. And as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.